Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back. My name is WTF Filmmaker 100, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel this time. Something a little different from movie reviews. I'm actually going to be doing some book reviews this time because reading is something that's always been a passion of mine ever since I was a little kid. And today, you wonder why I'm so happy? Because I read probably one of the best science fiction books ever created, Dune by Frank Herbert. This book was amazing. This was probably one of the greatest science fiction books ever created. Like, people said it's a triumph of the imagination. Yep, it is. This book is a triumph of the imagination. There's so much imagery here that is very difficult to describe, at least for me. And there's just so much to take in here. Basically, the plot of this book is that it's set on the desert planet called Arrakis, which is basically all desert, and it's home to this really precious and abundant spice called spice melange, which is supposed to increase human life. And it's also home to these giant sandworms that are actually able to can grow to about 400 meters in length, which is very scary. It's like a mutated Tremors movie, if you think about it. And so this spice can extend human life so that you can live to be about 400 years old. And it even helps with space travel. And the only known natives of this planet are called the Freemen, to me, it feels like a little bit of like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, those lost boys who were living in the cave out in the desert. And so also in this book, the planet is originally owned by this house called House Harkonnen, which is like a royal family, and they have a really long feud with this other house called House Atreides, which are basically the main protagonists of the film. Harkonnens are the main antagonists of the entire book. And if there's a 1984 film about it, that's why I said film earlier, because there's a film on this. And they've had a generations-long feud, and the Atreides house is given word that they are allowed to be in control of Arrakis because the spice that is harvested from that planet is so precious and so desirable to everybody that nobody can turn down that kind of offer. So then they decide that they're going to take the offer, when in reality it's a bit of a trick to them from the Harkonnens. And then we get a huge battle between House Atreides and House Harkonnen, and the main protagonist of the book is Paul Atreides, who was born many years ago. This book takes place when he's about 15 or so, and the book goes on for a couple of years. And he's supposed to go through this training to be called Bene Gesserit. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but this is really... Paul is going to be the next... Kwisatz Haderach. I'm hoping I'm reading that correctly, because there's a lot of terminology in this book I just don't get. And so he's going to become a super being. And yeah, that's basically the plot of the film. This book has so much imagery put to it that's so well detailed, and just there's so much to take in that eventually you become lost in it, like a dream. That's really what this book is. It's like a dream that you just want to get lost into. And I'm going to be completely honest here. Frank Herbert did such a good job with this book that I'm going to be completely honest here. This book is actually better than Star Wars, if you think about it. That's my opinion. Don't hate or backlash on me. This book is better than Star Wars. I have no problem with saying that, because this book had more character development. I cared for more of the characters. And even though it takes place mainly on one planet, if you think about it, actually two planets. At the beginning, the House Atreides is on their home planet, and then they go to Arrakis after about 100 pages or so. But look how thick this thing is. It's huge. This is about 800 pages. You can buy the same exact book. It's just a little bit taller, and it's about 400 pages, but it's still the same exact book. This book took me a couple months to read. Those are all my positives with the film, with the entire book, because there's just so much to take in here, and a lot of it you're able to get after the first time reading. My only flaw with the film, however, is that sometimes the terminology can be tough to understand, and it also, you forget what certain things mean even after reading the glossary in the back, because this book has a glossary at the back. If you think about it, it has a glossary at the back, so you're able to know what certain things are. Like here it is right here, terminology of the Imperium. And you have to look back at it, like, I would say you have to look back at it like every 5 pages, because eventually there's certain words you forget, and then if you choose not to look back, you can take notes on it, because that's what this book is. This should be assigned for college reading, in my opinion, because this book touches on it touches on ecology, religion, politics, environmentalism, all that. Like, this is a full universe created with just one book. And there's a whole series based off of this. There's a whole series here. I'm currently reading the 2nd book right now, and there's like a whole prequel trilogy to it. There's like a parallel trilogy. So there's going to be a lot of reviews like this. So in the end, I really enjoyed Dune. My only problem with it is the terminology sometimes can get a little bit annoying, and it's kind of hard to get the first time around. So you may have to read this book more than once, or you will have to look back at the glossary more than once. And sometimes certain characters, you forget who they are, because sometimes they disappear for quite some time, and then you forget, who is that guy again? Or who is this guy? Why is this guy even important? And eventually you'll figure it out. So you gotta read the book multiple times. But in the end, Dune was a fantastic book to read. I don't recommend it. I'm gonna require it to anybody. I'm gonna give Dune an A. This book was fantastic, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. Thank you guys. Look forward to my Captive State review coming up this Friday, and I'll see you guys next time.